Give me my theme music!
Buff Nation, welcome in real quick to this recording of some Buff news coming at you from Buffs News Weekly. I am your host, Russ Dornish, and we had two commitments today, two pieces of breaking news. So I thought I would just record a quick video to go over that piece of information and let you guys know a little bit more about it. But two big commitments to go along with already the number of commitments that we saw come out of the team yesterday. Like we talked about over the weekend with the Heisman Trophy presentation for Travis Hunter, it was going to pause a little bit on the portal acquisitions. And of course, we've talked about this before as well. Things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Okay. And so we lost some players, but now we are starting to gain players from the portal. And we have a couple of big key additions that happened today that I want to share with you right now. The first one being defensive lineman Gavriel Lightfoot out of Fresno State has officially committed to the Buffs today. He was on a visit this week. And to tell you a little bit more about Gavriel Lightfoot, a little bit of information: 6'3", 296 pounds, has played 3 years of football. So based on that, I'm assuming he has either 1 or 2 years of eligibility. I am totally lost when it comes to eligibility at this point, so I'm not going to assume, but I show 3 seasons worth of stats for him, and they show him as a junior. Okay, so when it comes to him and his stats, just a little bit about him. This past season was his best season yet. 37 total tackles, 11 solo, 26 assisted, 1 pass defended. Is that right? 1 sack. So not a ton of stats overall. Or sorry, that's his career stats. No sacks yet last season. His first sack came in his freshman season. So another depth piece on the defensive line to go along with, of course, the big piece that we got a few days ago in Jaheim Otis from Alabama, who is definitely going to be a starter on this team going to next year. But Gavriel Lightfoot, another big defensive lineman that can come in and be effective for Colorado day one. The second commitment that happened today, and probably the biggest, and one that I'm sure Buffs fans are going to throw a fit about, which is Kaidon Salter, quarterback from Liberty. Of course, a lot of people were saying because we were chasing after Kaidon Salter that we're going to lose Julian Lewis. I think this was all part of the plan. Julian Lewis knew that he was not just going to automatically get the starting job here at Colorado, that he was going to compete, but he was going to have a chance to start. And I think Kaidon Salter came in, saw that he's going to have a chance to start. And if he doesn't, he can be a good acquisition, a good kind of partner to Julian Lewis. So that's going to be your 1-2 punch this year, which to me also signals that we're probably going to be seeing Ryan Staub enter the portal. If I have a feeling that he'll enter the portal. My guess is it'll be after the bowl game, because there's a very high likelihood that Ryan Staub could get some play time in the bowl game, add some more tape to his resume before he goes into the portal so that he can find some place to go. But that's going to be my guess of what's going to happen next. Is you're probably going to see that occur where Ryan Staub enters the portal now that we have grabbed this quarterback. So very, very big additions today. Now, when it comes to Kaidon Salter and why he is a big addition, let's go over some of the stats about him. So he has some really amazing stats. Last year, unbelievable season at Liberty. So last year's season, not this year, he was a 61% completion, 2,876 yards, 32 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, guys, with a rating of a 176.6. So absolutely unbelievable. He hit the portal last year for Liberty, decided to come back, play for Liberty again. And while his win-loss record is good because Liberty had another great season, his stats went down a little bit. So his completion went from a 61 to a 56%, 1,800 yards passing, only 15 touchdowns, still the 6 interceptions for a rating of a 131.4. So still not bad. Now, the other thing I want to point out is not just his throwing stats, but his rushing stats. So, by the way, last year, during that amazing 2,800-yard season, 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, he ran for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns, guys. Kaidon Salter is an animal when it comes to both passing and running the ball. Completely different style than what we've seen. So he could be a weapon for this team this year. While again, his stats were slightly down, he still rushed for 587 yards and 7 touchdowns. So he is not only a passing quarterback, but we are looking at a dual threat in Kaidon Salter and what he can bring to Colorado. So both 2 massive acquisitions for the team. This isn't the end of it, guys. I'm telling you, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. We are going to see a heck of a lot more. Now, real quick, I want to go over our portal acquisitions so far to just give you a quick summary as of the time of this recording of the video. Zach Atkins, tight end, committed. Gavriel Lightfoot, defensive lineman, committed. Buck Buchanan, kicker, committed. Carter Miller, center, committed. Jaheim Otis, defensive lineman, committed. Reginald Hughes committed last night from Jacksonville State, linebacker. He is committed. And then, of course, the most recent one, Kaidon Salter, quarterback, committed. So right now, Colorado is looking good. This is just the beginning. I am telling you guys, we are going to see anywhere between 20 to 30 portal commits. Now, the other big one that Colorado is chasing very heavily is Kevin Concepcion, who finished up his visit at Colorado. He is getting a lot of attention. A lot of players are reaching out to him. A lot of fans are reaching out to him. So that is one we need to keep an eye on, would be a massive one. Another update I want to give you real quick while we are here and on this video, Joseph Williams, wide receiver, who was supposed to come visit this weekend, has committed to Utah, so he will not be making that visit, and he is no longer on the board for the Buffs. We still have Eric Rivers out there, as well as Kevin Concepcion, and then Caleb Oden, one player that we really wanted to see commit to Colorado. He is continuing with his visits. He is at Ole Miss the last time I checked this week, the week of December 16th. So I'm not liking the way that things are trending, okay? The way that this should work in the transfer portal that I want all of you guys to realize very quickly is if they come on a visit, they should commit before they leave or right after they leave. If they continue on going to more visits, that's probably not a great or fantastic sign for them committing to the team they just visited. So keep an eye on that. So with Caleb Odom, I think that's gone down a little bit. Xavier Atkins has been relatively quiet, the linebacker from LSU that came to visit this past weekend. It was pretty much well known that we thought he was a lock. We have not heard anything. He has not officially committed to Colorado just yet. So we will need to keep an eye on him and what happens next for him as well. Outside of that, we've got some big weekends coming up. Just to remind you guys, coming in this weekend, we've got Michael Garner visiting right now, Joshua Bates, Tafik Bayard, safety, Jordan White, if he hasn't committed, Cameron Calhoun, and Eric Rivers still to visit. There may be some other players that will end up visiting as well. We will find out as the week goes on. But I wanted to come on here, record a quick video just to talk about the 2 recent commits and where we sit when it comes to the transfer portal. So make sure you guys are following, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when these videos post or when we go live. Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m., we have the Buff Blitz with David Talks Buffs. And every Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m., we have the normal weekly Buffs news show live. Again, those times are Mountain Standard Time. So if you want to join me and chat football, college football, and the Colorado Buffaloes, feel free to join me on either of those live streams, as well as if there is a breaking news stream, we will have that throughout the week. But I'm also going to start posting some short videos to my channel as well for these pieces of information. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next time, Sko Buffs.